What's up, everybody? Doc Dog 1985. There's levels to this. All right, guys, check this out, man. It is officially 2023. There is no more. Let's wait for next year. This is the year where Xbox is supposedly going to be bringing their games. They can't afford not to, which then means that these games have to be finished. They're going to be held under the microscope a little bit more. They're going to be scrutinized a little bit more. Also understand that the this is a Game Pass game is a thing. It really is a thing. I have caught myself saying things like that, and I've seen other Xbox channel, other Xbox personalities saying things like, "This game is should have been on Xbox Game Pass. This is a Game Pass type of game, right?" Which, whether we would like to admit it or not, speaks to what type of games we expect on a subscription service. Okay, when you have a game like a Plague Tale Requiem on Game Pass, you really feel excited about it because you know that that's a game that could have easily sold. It's a game that didn't have to be put on Game Pass. So those types of games, when they come to Game Pass, are a value. Okay, I felt the same way about High on Life. I really liked that game. I liked how different that game was. I really enjoyed the gameplay, and I think that the length of that game was just perfect. It didn't overstay its welcome. So that's another game that came onto Game Pass that I was like, okay, I felt lucky. I felt the value of it, right? A game like Deathloop, when it finally got to Game Pass, those are the types of games that you say, okay, this is a Game Pass game. Meaning it's a game that you probably wouldn't have tried yourself. You try it and you see whether or not you like it. And even though I beat the game, I would say the game is good. The game's not great. If someone said, would you recommend for me to buy Deathloop? I don't know if I would recommend for you to buy it. I would say this is definitely a Game Pass game. This is a game that you have to try. Something like a Plague Tale Requiem, not even a question. If somebody didn't have Game Pass, says, should I buy this game? Yes, you should buy this game. Same thing with High on Life. Should I buy this game? Yes, you should buy this game. A game like Scorn. Scorn is not for everybody. You should try the game. Game Pass is perfect, right? So again, Halo Infinite to me is a definitely buy game. You could definitely recommend someone to buy that game. Forza Horizon 5, buy that game. Okay. So again, there's different games that when they come to Game Pass and you realize that this is a game that is definitely worth the buy, but you're only getting it for $15 a month, you feel the true value of Game Pass. Whereas there's other games that you get on there and you're kind of like, okay, I'm glad I enjoyed it. I'm glad I got to play it. But this feels like a Game Pass game. Not necessarily saying that it's bad, but it already has that stigma. 2023, these games that Microsoft is dropping that are first party can't feel like they should be Game Pass games. They need to feel like, nope, these are games that would definitely recommend a buy outside of Game Pass, but the fact that they are on Game Pass makes it great. So there's two things that I mentioned before that I want Microsoft to focus on. I'm gonna say it again. This year they need to focus on continuously keeping Game Pass a value, number one. And number two, these games that are their first party games have to be worth something because that's part of their selling point for the subscription service. That if the other company, aka Sony, was to put their first party games day in day on the subscription service, ooh, it'd be real tough. It'd be real tough to argue that that wouldn't be the better subscription service, right? Now, there's obviously other things that makes Game Pass better, but that one thing right there, when you say, well, first party day and date games are coming to Game Pass, well, for 2022, that was a moot point, right? But in 2023, that would still be a moot point if those first party games are not great. You see what I'm saying? You would lose that. But regardless, though, what I want them to do is I want them to make sure that Game Pass's value is sustained first. Now, that's for me. Okay, that's what I want from Xbox. I want them to make sure they go out there and any third party games, anything else that's coming out that might not be a first party game, I want them to be able to lock it in and let me experience that. Okay. I also want them to work on establishing a pattern where they get some of these games, maybe they're not day and date, but we notice that maybe after 6 months of a game being out, eventually it comes to Game Pass, and you're like, huh, you kind of see it, like, okay, so maybe I shouldn't buy Gotham Knight yet. I'm not even gonna worry that it's on sale because I know that eventually it's gonna come to Game Pass. Things like that. They start doing stuff like that again, continuously making sure that that value of Game Pass is there. Another thing they need to do for 2023 is they need to do that regardless of what's happening with the Activision duty deal. Okay? If Microsoft can do that and they continue to provide Game Pass as a value, is going to set the clear tone, like I've said before, as what Microsoft and Xbox wants to do. They want to be Game Pass more than they want to be Xbox, right? And I am okay with that. My preferred place to play Game Pass is going to be on my Xbox, but right now that's the way it's looking. The only way they change the mentality of what their perception is as far as or what the optics are as far as whether or not they care about the Xbox brand is by number one, promoting the Xbox Series X and showing the power of the Xbox Series X. They promote the S already, right? But then having their first party games also be great, right? The problem that they have is they're not allowed to delay anything. You and I both know this year they can't delay anything. They delay something, it's gonna look bad, right? And I've heard rumors that they're thinking about delaying something, but I'm not gonna speak on it because I haven't done too much research on it yet. But that's all I want for this year. It is 2023. Xbox continuously bring the value of Game Pass up, and number two, these games better be great. Let's see what happens. Doc Dog 1985 is levels to this. Let me know what you guys want from Xbox 2023. Or have they been meeting your expectations? We out. Peace.